Yo, this is Bernard, aka the Scarlet Spider.
And this is Samir, the King in Black.
And welcome, one and all, and few and far between, to another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast.
But the nerds are black and the nerds are angry.
Alright, so let's just get the bad news out the way first. Unfortunately, Johnathan Majors was found guilty in his court case, but he
Bad news in what context?
What the hell does that mean?
I mean, what do you mean by bad news?
He's no longer playing Kang. Marvel has severed ties with them, and it's possible that he could be going to jail, so there's a lot of bad news.
Yeah, I mean, if he deserves it.
You're so dumb.
Samir, we saw the text messages. Dumb. We saw the video, and you still think this man deserves it?
I'm just saying. There was some assault charges there. I don't know. He probably won't get the year anyway, so. But to say that he's totally blameless.
Samir, do you know the assault charge he got? He got an assault charge for taking his phone back. Did you even look into like the sentencing and everything?
What is she getting? That's what I want to know. They both need to be going in.
Why would she be getting anything? It was a criminal case.
Didn't she lie?
Once again, it was a criminal case.
I think they both suck, but that's just me. Point is,
bro, the things you say on this podcast.
What do you mean the things I say on this podcast, Mister? I don't know the whole story. That's your favorite line, right? I don't have enough information,
and I'm giving you the information, and you still saying the man sucks. You didn't do any. Look it up. Just go.
I'm already out. I'm already out at this point. I stopped listening a long time ago. Once I saw he got dropped, I didn't care anymore. Now, I think they should recast him.
Of course you didn't.
But before they say anything, John Boyega is not picking up the role.
I know that. I was going to say that. But you decided to shit on the man before even doing any research. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. He threw me off, people.
Don't blame that on me.
No, I literally had an article saved, and now I can't even find it. But apparently Disney stocks went up after firing Johnathan Majors.
That's probably not a cause. That's probably not causation.
All right, here we go. So the verdict was reached by a 6-person jury after roughly over 4 hours of deliberation spread across 3 days. Majors was wearing a gray suit and a black dress shirt and tie, stood with his attorneys as the verdict was read, with family members and his girlfriend Megan Good behind him. Sentencing is set to begin February 6th. The charges are a misdemeanor and a violation, which carry a sentence up to 1 year in prison. The 2 other charges he was not found guilty of is intentional assault in the 3rd degree and not guilty of aggravated assault in the 2nd degree. In a statement after the verdict, the actor's attorney, Priyana Chaudhry, said Majors looks forward to fully clearing his name, implying he may appeal. She continued, Mr. Majors is grateful to God, his family, his friends, and his fans for their love and support during these harrowing 8 months. So yeah, shortly after the verdict was read, Marvel Studios dropped the actor as Kang the Conqueror from his upcoming Marvel Cinematic films. In total, Majors faced 4 charges of assault, aggravated harassment, and harassment after he called 911 on March 25th, when he said he found his ex-partner Grace Jabari unconscious in their apartment. Police arrested Majors after finding apparent injuries on Jabari, including a laceration behind the ear and a bruised and fractured finger. Majors pled not guilty to all charges. So, Jabari took the witness stand for the first 4 days of the trial. It said Majors caused the injuries during an altercation in the car several hours before. She testified the alleged incident occurred in a private car when she saw text on Majors' phone that read, "Oh, how I wish to be kissing you." Jabari has since said that she tried to snatch the phone from Majors, who then pried her finger from the phone, grabbed her arm and right hand, twisted her forearm, and struck her head to get the phone away from her. The first 3 charges are misdemeanor offenses and related to the alleged incidents in the car. The 4th charge of harassment, which is a violation, the most minor offense of the charges, relates to an allegation that Majors threw Jabari back in the car as she tried to exit. The defense argued that he placed her back in the car to stop her from running into traffic. That action captured on surveillance video, while the altercation inside the car was not captured on camera. All right. The charges against Major were brought by the state of New York rather than Jabari herself. The case was a criminal trial as opposed to civil, meaning the burden of proof is higher on the jury, who had to find proof of guilt beyond a reasonable doubt of each charge. All right. So you still think this man is guilty? Because I'm not reading this whole thing.
I think both parties could have handled that better, but it's messy, and I'm out of it. And quite frankly, I don't think that's something. I wouldn't start that sitting with, oh, bad news. I mean, it's messy. I don't know if it's bad.
It is bad news. This man who was getting his property back got a assault charge for getting his stuff back and, stopping her from nearly running into traffic after he called the cops because she was knocked out unconscious with no recollection of how she got in the closet.
They need to get after those cops because they're also a problem too. If I remember correctly, they didn't talk about how they coerced her. Once again, that's
probably going to be a civil case against the police.
ACAB every day. That's all I say. ACAB.
Can you turn that label? Like I said, we aren't getting paid.
Nothing matter. Who cares? You don't have stock in Bandai. You showing all those toys you got from the con. What's the matter?
You asked me what I bought. That's different.
The point is you didn't cover the labels in. I don't know. We don't get any advertising. We talk about plenty of branded trademark items here. Plus there's like logos across this whole damn can. I can't cover the Lego.
You can literally cover it and just show the nutritional facts.
Liquid Death is refreshing and deadly.
Why do you have to be like this?
Hang on. All right, what were you saying?
Why do you have to be like this?
Like what? You're picking the fight. You have no reason to get pissed off about the can. It's a can. Move on. And you're already wasting time talking about the can. I was already done with it. You brought it up twice. That's the issue we're having here, sir. Just ignore the can. You have these things where you zero in on it, and then because I don't play ball with you, you get mad at me. Just forget about the can. I'm drinking it.
It's just fine. Because I asked you to do one simple thing and you just refuse.
How am I supposed to cover the label? It's around the whole can. You can see what it is.
Literally.
What do you want me to do?
Turn the can around to the back where they show the nutritional facts like I just told you.
You going to tell us to liquid death? Why does it matter, Bernard?
Fuck it. I'm done. I am done with this podcast. Sorry, guys. This is the last episode. This is the last episode because you always pick arguments. You don't sit there and you sit there and you throw out these orders and you don't have any reason for not liking the can. There's no good reason to flip out about this. You're being a little baby about it. Go to your story, man.
Well, you said we just quitting. Are you serious about quitting the podcast? Don't just say stuff that without actually being.
No, I mean this is the last episode. I am done. So this is the last episode.
Why even finish the episode? Why even go through the problems? Why even do that?
Give people a proper send-off.
Well, this is the proper send-off right now then. Like, what the hell? You might as well even post this episode. Just throw up on socials that we're done, and you don't have to post anything. Like, literally, you're picking a fight right now. Like, there's no reason to get upset about me drinking the can. All right? People do it all the time. I see plenty of streamers have Pepsi and Coke and whatever else, Monster, on their podcast in their mainstream. No one says anything, but you're having a problem with it. Why? And then you don't tell me why. You just give me a horn like I'm your employee.
I literally said because we aren't sponsored. See, you choose to.
No one's sponsored by any of these. No one's sponsored by any of these companies. Why does it matter, Bernard? You said, "Oh, we're not getting money for it." Who cares? That's what I'm saying. I'm not sponsored by Centerfield, all right, or any other logo.
All right, guys. Yeah, I cut him off. So yeah, this is the last episode of the podcast with Samir. I'm just gonna go solo from here on out. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go to the next story. All right. So a lot of you know that the video game the day before was canceled, literally the day of release. So people are selling their Steam keys that weren't used for, hundreds of dollars after the game got delisted. So it's like, why are y'all still doing this? It's like, the game was delisted. So what's the point? You're not going to be able to play it. I mean, I get it. I guess it's a collector's item, but is it really? Who knows? So, if you're a fan of Lego, you can get the Cullen house for, let's see how much this thing is. It's probably going to be like $200. That's usually what Lego houses cost. I don't think they actually put it up. I don't think they gave us a price. Yeah, they didn't give us a price, so I'll keep you guys apprised of that whenever, it comes out. So, Netflix, the streaming corporate titan that barely has anything to watch, is working on several spinoffs. And those will be Extraction. Don't necessarily know who's going to get a spinoff. I didn't watch Extraction 2 yet. Wednesday, rumors we're working on the Uncle Fenster spinoff, starring what's that guy's name? What is his name? I know his name too. Paul Armerson. A Witcher spinoff, which probably won't work because I think a lot of people are going to boycott that series since Liam Hemsworth is taking over. Money Heist. Peaky Blinders. I feel like it might be too late for Peaky Blinders, because didn't Peaky Blinders end like 3 years ago? Let's see when Peaky Blinders actually ended. So Peaky Blinders ended. Oh, never mind. It ended last year. So yeah, it's still a little fresh on the ending bubble. We're getting a spinoff of Stranger Things. I feel like this is a little too late because you should have done a spinoff possibly around season 2 or season 3. I mean, we're about to get the final season within like the next year or so. So I'm just like, Army of the Dead. I can see that for a film franchise because we already got Army of Thieves. I really can't remember who lived at the end of Army of the Dead because that movie came out like about a year ago. So, whenever, hopefully we'll get some more announcements on that. Unfortunately, we do also have to give a rest in peace to Mr. James Mccaffrey. Sorry about that. So a lot of us may know him from playing the game that pretty much introduced bullet time to gaming, and that is Max Payne. He passed away at the age of 65 years old. I'm checking to see what else he was in as far as either video games or television. Oh, apparently he also had a cameo in the game, but he was acting since the late 80s. I'm looking at his filmography right now. It looks like he wasn't in any films that I saw. I did a couple episodes of Law and Order. Oh, he was on Rescue Me. That's where I recognized him from. Oh, wow. He was on Viper. Oh, yeah. He was a lead on Viper. I guess like the first season or so. But yeah, rest in peace to Mr. James McCaffrey. So, for you sci-fi fans out there, Ryan Coogler's X-Files series is actually confirmed to be happening according to Bloomberg News. I don't believe David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson are coming back to play Mulder and Scully. So it looks like this is possibly a reboot as opposed to a revival series. Yeah, no, they just said that it's definitely happening, but no news yet on who's going to be playing what characters. So, as we all know, the Insomniac hack happened last week, and I told you guys about the stipulations of the hack. The hacker group wanted, I believe it was $2 million in Bitcoin, or they were going to leak everything. And once a case like this happens, it pretty much becomes federal. So they said, "Nuck if you buck." And nothing happened. They just post like some more footage from like the game in development, like a few of the employees of Insomniac's address. And we got some details on what's happening with Marvel and Insomniac as a whole. So apparently the entire Insomniac game slate was leaked until 2030. So we're supposed to be getting X-Men games, a Venom game in 2020, I believe 7, and Spider-Man 3 in 2029. But yeah, they leaked more than a terabyte of internal data. And so Insomniac earlier at the time of this recording put out a press release that just basically said an update on PS5's Wolverine. Well, Insomniac and Marvel's Wolverine. Thank you for the outpouring of compassion and unwavering support. It is deeply appreciated. We're both saddened and angered about the recent criminal cyber attack on our studio and the emotional toll it's taken on our development team. We have focused inwardly for the last several days to support each other. We are aware that the stolen data includes personal information belonging to our employees, former employees, and independent contractors. It also includes early development details about Marvel's Wolverine for PlayStation 5. We continue working quietly to determine what data was impacted. This experience has been extremely distressing for us. We want everyone to enjoy the games we develop as intended and as our players deserve. However, like Logan, Insomniac is resilient. Marvel's Wolverine continues as planned. The game is in early production and will no doubt greatly evolve through development, as do all our plans. While we appreciate everyone's enthusiasm, we will share official information about Marvel's Wolverine when the time is right. On behalf of everyone at Insomniac, thank you for your ongoing support during this challenging time. So, like I said last week, once you hack a multi-million-dollar company, it becomes a federal issue. So the feds will be tracking those people down, and outlook might not be so good. So, for those of you who are also fans of Andor, unfortunately, season 2 is going to be delayed past next year. So season 2 might not happen until 2025, guys. So this is going to be like a season 1, season 2 type situation with Loki, where we had to wait like a year and some change, because I feel like Loki season 1 was 2020, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it is definitely not on schedule for next year for Lucasfilm. Comic book news. So I feel like Marvel is getting ready to just do some erasure with Gwen Stacy of the 616 universe, because now Spider-Gwen, aka Ghost Spider, whatever you want to call her, I can't remember what Earth she's on, but she is apparently trapped in the 616 for good. So Stephanie Phillips and Chris Campana will be launching a Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider book, coming out in April of next year, and the title card reads "Trapped on 616 for good." How long is for good? Because for good might be till the end of the book, and if this book sells, with Marvel, you never really know. Like they sometimes do 6-issue minis, they do a 12-issue limited series run. I mean, Marvel, please stop restarting all of your books. That's all I ask. As someone who buys your books on a daily basis, can y'all just go back to the way you were doing books, where, you know, once a writer or an artist leaves, you just keep the numbering going and stop starting over with number 1s every other year? Please, that's all I ask. Because now you're just screwing it up for collectors. Like, every issue 1 that you put out is going to diminish the previous issue 1's value. So it's just like, I quit. All right. Yeah, it was more or less a slow news week. Oh crap! Yeah, guys. I forgot to talk about Doctor Who. Because somebody didn't watch it last week, so I can finally talk about it. So, you know, David Tennant's quote unquote final episode of Doctor Who aired. Well, let's just say the final special in the 60th anniversary, which was titled "The Giggle." So, this episode pretty much picks up dealing with the ramifications of the last episode, where, you know, the Doctor invoked that superstition across the universe, and that caused one of the Doctor's oldest adversaries to cross over into our dimension. And that individual's name is the Toy Maker, who was played by Neil Patrick Harris. So the only example of the Toy Maker I can make is he's basically Mxyzptlk. So he likes to have fun and just screw with people. And in this case, he basically screwed with all of humanity. So he traveled back to 1925 to when Stooky Bill, this is actually a true historical fact, was bought by an assistant to John Logie Baird, who is actually the inventor of television. So this was actually a puppet that is actually the first recorded piece of television in all time. So, and it's invoked some type of weird giggle with it. And so then we jump back to present day, where after the last episode, we see all the chaos in London has ensued. And Unit finds the doctor, and they take him to Unit headquarters, and they take Wolf somewhere safe. As I said last week, unfortunately, last episode was the last episode with Bernard Cribbins. Sorry, guys, I got a message. And so we actually get to see Kate Stewart in this episode, who obviously needs the doctor's help. Kate Stewart is the head of Unit. Her father was also the head of Unit in the, I want to say, like, what was it, like the Fifth Doctor's, I want to say around the time of the Fifth Doctor. Maybe six, who knows. And we actually get to see an old companion, Melanie Bush, who was actually the companion of the Sixth and the Seventh Doctor. She's actually working at Unit. And Donna being Donna, you know, her and the doctor work together and figure out what's going on and find out that, you know, there's a wave that's going across the world, because now the only thing that happened within the past 2 days that they were gone was that, I can't remember what country it was, but a country got satellites. So now the entire world is connected to the internet. And Donna, being the smart, lovely companion that she is, figured out that it's not a wave, it's a music key. And it's basic agropokio, which is ha 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 ha. And they found out that it was indeed the laugh of Stooky Bill. So they go back to the 1920s, and the doctor confronts the toy maker, trying to figure out what he wants. And a bunch of shenanigans also ensue. And you find out that the assistant who bought this original Stooky Bill got turned into a puppet himself by the toy master. And Donna basically gets a Cliff Notes version of what's happened to all the companions since she was last a companion. So we get a little bit of backstory to Amy's story, Clara's story, and Bill. It's just still a little fucked up that, you know, I mean, Rory was a companion too, but yeah. So he was like, I challenge you to a game. So they played a game of basically just drawing the highest card. The doctor lost. So you're like, oh crap, what the hell does this mean? So the doctor said, nah, homie, we already played the game before. So guess what? Best 2 out of 3. And the game as toy maker said, I'll see you in 2023. So his little area collapses to get back in the TARDIS, go back to present day. And they go back to Unit, and the game master just basically kills a bunch of people while dancing to the Spice Girls Spice Up Your Life, which was very hilarious. And they have a giant gun, which they were going to use to shoot a satellite up the sky. I think it was called like a graviton beam or something like that. Really can't remember at this point. But toy maker killed the 2 guards that were watching the graviton beam, shot the doctor, and the doctor begins to regenerate. And he's like,
I am in no hurry to leave this place. We can play Grandma's footsteps. And off-ground touch. Stop! 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 Shooting ducks.
Who's next? Is he a companion? Is he a soldier? Is he a scientist? Is he orphan?
Your fight is with me! And you owe me one more game! I played the first game with one doctor. I played the second game with this doctor. Therefore, your own rules have decreed I play the third game with the next doctor.
He's not dying alone. You can do what you like to me. I'm gonna be with him. And so am I.
Handmaidens.
It's okay.
It's not dying.
I know.
But you're gonna be someone else. It doesn't matter who. Because every single one of you is fantastic.
It's time. Here we go again. Allons-y.
What's happening?
Could you pull?
Could I? What?
And you
What do you mean?
pull.
Oh.
Just pull each way. I don't know. Feels different this time. Ow!
What?
What?
No way.
You're me.
Not me. I think I'm really, really me. I am completely me. Don't just stand there. Push. Push. Does this work? I don't know.
So good! Now, someone tell me what the hell is going on here?
Excuse me. Sorry, but how did that happen?
Bi-generation. I have bi-generated. There's no such thing. Bi-generation is supposed to be a myth, but... Look at me. Yeah, myth, Mel. What do you think?
I think you're beautiful.
Still beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you come in a range of colours?
Yes.
If I can interrupt. Behold the game of the Time Lords. A dummy who dies and doubles and dies and doubles. I could play this for 100 years. I'll have vast meadows of doctors dying over and over again, and I'll never get bored because
I challenge you to a game.
Now, something feels funny. And he has Donna and Mel both grab an arm and pull. And then the doctor splits in two. So this is where we first get our look at Ncuti Gatwa as the doctor. And apparently he said that his mustache isn't real. That's a glued on mustache. So this is where bi-generation comes in. So yeah, guys, that's the thing now. So bi-generation is where instead of the doctor dying and just, you know, causing this full explosive force like we've seen before for 13 times now. So apparently the doctor just splits like a parasite, I want to say. And now Russell T. Davies has actually come out and said, hey guys, this is now retroactive in the canon. So the doctors have never regenerated. They all have bi-generated. So now we have, if you count the fugitive doctor and the war doctor, we have 17 doctors out there, people.
What?
All in one universe. And it's just like, what the hell? Because then technically they all don't have TARDISes because there's only one TARDIS. So are they just living on Earth amongst us? So this is my issue with that. It's like, why would you do that, Russell? I get it. You want to keep David Tennant around. David Tennant probably said, I'll do an episode or a special here or there. And, he's trying to, because he already built a Doctor Who universe with Doctor Who. He had Torchwood for the adults and the Sarah Jane Adventures for the children. So also it's rumored that we're supposed to be getting a unit spinoff. But anyway, back to the main point. So the bi-generation happens. We got the 15th Doctor. So basically, since they split, they kind of split the clothes. So Shooty is in his boxers and the Converses that the 15th Doctor wears in his shirt with his tie, while the Doctor is wearing the undershirt, the pants, and no shoes. So yes, people, the Doctor was free balling or going commando. So they both challenged the toy maker to a game, and it's all his fault because he split them. So they go with the simplest game of all time: catch. You drop the ball, you lose, game over. They beat the toy maker. One part I left out while the Doctor and the toy maker were playing their game of highest card wins. He basically went into a full explanation of what he's been doing since he was able to get into this universe. So he took the master and put him in a gold tooth. And that is explained later on why that's important. So they play catch. Toy maker loses. 14th Doctor gets a prize, and he says, my prize is I want to banish you from this dimension. So toy maker folds up, lands in a box. Unit takes him, covers it in salt because the Doctor invoked that superstition at the end of the universe. So that's a thing now. But when the toy maker folded up, his gold tooth popped up, and somebody with a well-manicured set of nails took that tooth. So we will be getting a new master soon, or who knows, maybe John Cena will be coming back. So then they try to figure out what the hell they're going to do about the whole TARDIS situation, because 14's like, yeah, there's two of us. How's this going to work? And we find out the reason why the Doctor chose David Tennant's face again. It was because he's stressed out. He needs to relax. The 15th Doctor says they're doing rehab in reverse. So basically, he no longer feels the weight of all the ramifications since the Time War. He's basically going to be a carefree Doctor, free of his burdens. And so David Tennant's Doctor, the 14th Doctor, will be a Earth-based Doctor. And when they come to this conclusion, the 15th Doctor has a revelation like, oh crap, maybe we're still in a state of play. So he grabs a giant mallet, hits the TARDIS, and now we have two TARDISes. And the 15th Doctor, TARDIS is still the same as far as the interior goes, except the 15th Doctor's TARDIS has a jukebox in it, like an old school jukebox. And it's wheelchair accessible. So that means that more than likely Maddie from the previous specials, who's in the wheelchair, will be joining him on a few adventures. So he gets ready to leave. They say their goodbyes and everything. And now the 14th Doctor has a family. So he's just basically chilling with Donna's family. So he's chilling with Rose, Sean, and Sylvia, and Wilf. And Wilf is out shooting, was it gophers? No, he was shooting moles, but the Doctor gave him a force field because he loves the moles. So this Doctor has a happy ending. And now our 15th Doctor is off sailing the galaxy and getting to who knows what type of adventures. But yeah, our first episode with him will be airing on Christmas. So yeah, there's that. But I will tell you this. Let's get into the reviews of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. So the first two episodes aired a little bit earlier on Disney Plus by a day. So we're going to get into episode 1. I accidentally vaporized my pre-algebra teacher. So synopsis is 12-year-old Percy Jackson is on a field trip to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, where he is given a sword named Riptide in the form of a ballpoint pen by Mr. Burnard, his Latin teacher. Percy accidentally pushes class bully Nancy Bobafett into a water fountain, catching the attention of the algebra teacher, Mrs. Dodds, who reveals herself to be a fury. Percy strikes Dodds with Riptide and later finds out that no one else seemingly remembers Mrs. Dodds' existence. Percy returns home to his stepfather, Gabe, and his mother, Sally. Percy and Sally head to their cabin in Montauk, New York, where Sally informs her son that Greek gods and monsters are real. While Percy's friend, Grover, inadvertently reveals himself to be a satyr, arrives to tell Sally and Percy to move to Camp Half-Blood when they are attacked by a Minotaur. And on the way, the Minotaur kills Sally, which causes Percy to kill it in rage. And after that, he collapses, and he's greeted by Sharon as he wakes up. So, as someone who's never read these books, because by the time these books came out, I want to say I was about 19 or so. Let's see when the first book came out. Oh, Percy Jackson. Yeah, The Lightning Thief came out in 2005. So one of the things I'm actually liking about this series, is they're sticking more to the books, where the movies, they aged the characters up because Logan Lerman by that time was about 16 years old or so. And I think Brandon T. Jackson was in his 20s and Alexandra Daddario was in her late teens. So I want to say 17 or 18. So the cast is, a pretty young group of individuals. Walker Scobell, who plays Percy, is 14. Leah Savelle Jeffrey, who's playing Annabelle, who got all the hate because y'all need to suck. Y'all suck. She's also 14. And I believe the kid who plays Grover, Arian Simadari. Oh, he's the eldest one. He's 17. He almost a grown man, but he looked like he's like 12. So yeah, everyone's pretty much a teenager. And, the budget is good. First episode was amazing, by the way. My only issue with this is the way it's shown is cut like it's airing on TV. So there's these pauses, and obviously we fade to black and then we come back. And I'm just like, does that necessarily need to be there? This is a show specifically for a streaming service, unless they plan on putting this on Disney XD, 8 months down the line. But even then, you can do that after the entire series airs on Disney Plus. But yeah, Logan is good. If you saw the Adam Project, you already know how he does his thing. Kid who plays Grover, Arian, he was actually pretty good as well. But at first I'm like, who's his mother? Because she looks a little bit like, I want to say Julia Stiles, but it's Virginia Cole, who I've never seen anything again. Apparently she was in Nosferatu on Sci-Fi Channel, and she was in an episode of Shameless and Sneaky Pete. But yeah, I've never seen her in anything, but, hopefully we'll see her again because, the Minotaur killed her. Episode 2, I become Lord Supreme of the bathroom. So, yeah, Percy wakes up and the camp infirmary, with Grover on his bedside, and he meets Mr. Deeb, who is the camp director, who is actually Dionysus, the god of winemaking, portraits, and fruit and vegetation, and a whole bunch of other things. But yeah, he's also known as Bacchus. And he realizes that Mr. Burnard is Sharon, who is a centaur. Sharon instructs Percy to stay in the Hermes cabin until he is claimed by his godly parent. Percy meets fellow campers Luke Castellan and Clarissa LaRue, and tries different activities to figure out his skills. Clarice and her friends attempt to dip Percy's head in the toilet, but Percy bashes them with his water powers, which he doesn't know he has yet because he's just like, what the hell is going on? So Annabeth recruits Percy into her team for a game of capture the flag. Luke tells Percy the backstory of how him and Talia Grace recruited Annabeth and how they actually got the camp. But you also just find out that Talia didn't make it. So it was just Luke and Annabeth who made it to the camp. So capture the flag begins, and Percy repels an attack by Clarice and her friends, while the blue team, consisting of the Amphita and Hermes cabins, wins, and Annabeth pursues Percy. Annabeth pushed Percy into the lake, which caused, the bruises from his ass whooping from Clarice to heal. And then Percy is playing by Poseidon, the god of the sea. So he moves into the Poseidon cabin and is told that Zeus has accused him of stealing his master boat, and that war will ensue if it's not returned within a week. And so Percy's quest is to find the lightning boat. This episode was better than the first. Like, these kids, they got their fight choreography on point, and I really don't have any notes to say about this episode. Like, the effects of his wounds being healed was pretty good. Annabeth has a cap that makes her invisible. That was pretty good. So I don't know how they did that per se. Maybe they put her in a green suit, because when she walks away, you see her footprints in the dirt. But yeah, so far the show is building up to be very fruitful, and we have about 6 more episodes, because this is indeed an 8-episode series. So yeah, guys, I can't wait. Yeah, look at that. I got all my stories done in a half hour because somebody doesn't like to fucking scramble and rant. So yeah, I wasted 5 hours of my life watching Rurouni Kenshin. Don't recommend it if you're not a fan of reading subtitles, because the dubs were horrible. And speaking of dubs, this episode is actually sponsored by Dubby. So this is a powdered energy drink. Usually contains about 100 milligrams of caffeine to get you through the day. This flavor is the mango orange cream. I actually like the Dub slime, so I haven't tried this one yet, but you guys can go to w.gg and use the promo code AngryBlerds10 at checkout to save 10% on your order, and that will actually be in the description of this episode. So yeah, so I guess this is the end of the Angry Blerds podcast and the beginning of the Angry Blerd podcast. So guys, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. And I will see y'all when I see you. And yeah, looks like the episode's going to be roughly about a half hour long now. So peace.